Hi, this is Mike Regan with TranzAct's 2-minute warning for the week of August 6th. Folks, over the last couple of months, we've been talking about the GRIs, or general rate increases, that have been announced by several of the LTL motor carriers. And we've also talked about the fact that the actual increases that the carriers will get will be determined by the condition of the economy. Well, folks, over the last month, we have gotten a dramatic lesson in just how elastic the supply and demand factors are for the transportation industry. And we mention this because many of the carriers have told us that they're not going to get anywhere close to the 6.9% rate increases that they announced earlier. Now, in this 2-minute warning, we want to focus on transportation budgets, and specifically, how are you going to budget for your transportation cost in 2013? And the reason we mention this is because given the elasticity and the fact that the carriers are adjusting things so rapidly, how do you budget for your transportation cost? Well, some of the people that have called us have asked us if we had some insights, and we want to emphasize 3 things as you develop your own transportation budgets. First, we want to emphasize that you need to focus on your total net freight cost. The reason we mention this is because some people have said, well, Mike, we're getting this type of discount, or this is what we're seeing. But we like to remind them that discounts are just one factor affecting LTL pricing. They're the base rates that you're using, as well as the accessorial charges that the carriers will be putting through that will have an impact on what your net freight costs look like. The second thing we want to remind people is to take a look at your total landed cost. Now, what do we mean by this? Well, a lot of companies, for example, are focused on lean initiatives. In using lean principles, a lot of companies see inventory as being bad. We want to have as little inventory as possible. But we like to remind them that by tweaking some of your processes, you can dramatically lower your landed cost, even if it means having a little bit more inventory. And the reason for this is because freight rates are determined based on weight breaks. So you may find that by increasing the size of your shipments, you can dramatically lower your overall freight rates. And that brings us to the third and most important area in developing freight budgets. Are you able to determine the cost of non-compliance? And the reason we mention this is because a lot of companies have routing guides and the kind of carriers that they want to use. And you want your vendors to use these carriers, and you want your own personnel on outbound shipments to use these carriers. But what happens when you don't use the right carriers? Now, at TranzAct, we've got a lot of great tools to help companies measure the cost of non-compliance. Our Star Rate product, for example, is a great tool. And we bring this up because with each and every 2-minute warning, we're here to remind you we're on your team and we're here to help. So if you have some comments or questions or want some information about how you can develop a great transportation budget for 2013, give us a call today. Thanks for your time.